night sky hangs above us like a heavy curtain, woven with the cold and distant diamonds of ancient stars. We gaze upward from our small blue world, feeling the immense and silent weight of the galaxy pressing down upon our skin. There is a hunger in the human heart that has burned since our ancestors first looked up from the savanna grass. We wish to cross the vast and terrible ocean of night that separates us from those flickering points of light. We dream of ships that can sail the cosmic dark, faster than the wind, faster than sound, faster than thought itself. But the universe has etched a line in the sand, a boundary that stands as the ultimate law of existence. It is a wall that seems to say, you may go this far, but you shall go no further in this life. This barrier is not made of stone or steel, but of the fundamental fabric of space and time itself. We call this barrier the speed of light, a constant that dictates the rhythm of every atom in the cosmos. It is the celestial speed limit, strictly enforced by the geometry of the universe, setting the maximum pace for cause and effect. Nothing that carries information, nothing that bears mass, is permitted to outrun this silent and invisible messenger of reality. To understand this limit is to understand the cage in which we are trapped, a cage of immense and beautiful proportions. Tonight, we will journey to the very edge of this boundary, pushing our minds against the glass of the impossible. We will ask if this limit is truly absolute, or if there might be a hidden door waiting to be opened. But first, we must feel the texture of the cage and understand why the universe demands we move so slowly. Imagine yourself drifting in the deepest void of space, far from the warmth of our yellow sun and its planets. The silence here is absolute, a thick and velvet blanket that swallows every vibration and every echo of life. You are floating in a vessel of pure imagination, a ship designed to challenge the very structure of the cosmos. In front of you lies the center of the galaxy, a dense cluster of starlight glowing with a promise of secrets. You engage the engines, and a hum of limitless power begins to vibrate through the floor beneath your feet. You are not moving yet, but you are preparing to chase the fastest thing that has ever existed in nature. Light is not merely a brightness that chases away the shadows of the evening or illuminates the pages of a book. It is the carrier of news, the deliverer of the present moment, bringing us the reality of things that have happened. When you look at the moon, you are seeing a ghost from 1 second ago, a memory that has just arrived. When you look at the sun, you are witnessing a burning star as it was 8 minutes in the past. If the sun were to vanish this very instant, we would remain in blissful ignorance for those 8 long minutes. We would still feel its gravity and see its light, unaware that the anchor of our solar system was gone. This delay reveals a profound truth about our existence, suggesting that we are always living in the echo of the past. The speed of light is the speed of causality, the speed at which the universe updates its own internal logic. As your ship begins to accelerate, you feel a gentle pressure pushing you back into the soft fabric of your seat. You are moving faster now, leaving the dusty arm of our solar system behind in a trail of invisible exhaust. The stars outside your window are steady and unblinking, like calm eyes watching a foolish child try to outrun their gaze. At first, the sensation of speed is absent, for in the vacuum of space, there is no wind to rush by. There are no landmarks to blur into streaks of color, only the endless and unchanging tapestry of the black deep. You check your instruments and see that you are traveling at a mere fraction of the cosmic limit. You are moving at thousands of miles per second, yet the galaxy remains vast and indifferent to your urgent progress. To reach the stars in a human lifetime, we must go faster, pushing closer to that unbreakable ceiling of velocity. You command the ship to accelerate further, pouring energy into the engines until they sing with a desperate and high pitch. We are now approaching the domain of Einstein's special relativity, where the common sense of our daily lives begins to unravel completely. In our ordinary world, if you run forward and throw a ball, the speed of the ball adds to your own. But light does not obey this simple arithmetic. It travels at the same speed regardless of how fast you chase it. Even if you were speeding at 99% of light speed, a beam of light would still pass you instantly. It would recede from you at the full speed of light, as if you were standing perfectly still in the void. This creates a paradox that the mind struggles to accept, a twisting of logic that feels like a fever dream. If light always moves at the same speed, then something else must change to accommodate this stubborn and absolute constant. That something else is the very rigid scaffolding of reality that we cling to for our sanity and stability. Space and time, which we assume are fixed and immutable stages for our lives, begin to warp and bend. As your ship climbs higher in velocity, you are no longer just moving through space. You are trading time for speed. The faster you move through the 3 dimensions of space, the slower you must move through the 4th dimension of time. This phenomenon is known as time dilation, a slowing of the clock that is not a mechanical error, but a physical truth. Inside your ship, everything feels normal. Your heart beats at its usual rhythm, and your thoughts flow clearly. You pour a cup of tea, and the steam rises in swirling patterns that take the normal amount of seconds to dissipate. But outside your hull, the universe is aging at a ferocious rate, leaving you behind in a preserved bubble of youth. If you could look back at Earth through a powerful telescope, you would see life moving in chaotic fast motion. You would see cities rise and fall, forests grow and wither, and generations of people live and die in moments. You are becoming a traveler, not just across the distance of light years, but across the epochs of future history. Every second that ticks by on your wrist is worth hours, then days, then years to the people you left behind. This is the loneliness of the high-speed traveler, a severing of the temporal bond that connects us to our kin. You are effectively traveling into the future, skipping over the intervening time that everyone else must endure minute by minute. It is a one-way journey, for the laws of physics provide no easy ticket back to the past you abandoned. The universe demands a payment for your speed, and the currency it accepts is the time you are allotted to exist. But time is not the only casualty of your hubris as you push the throttle closer to the limit. The very space around you begins to transform, reacting to your velocity as if it were a physical substance. This is the phenomenon of length contraction, where distances in the direction of your motion begin to shrink and compress physically. The star system you are aiming for, which was once dozens of light years away, now appears much closer. It is not an illusion of optics or a trick of the mind, but a fundamental shifting of cosmic geometry. To an observer watching you from a stationary asteroid, your majestic ship would appear squashed and shortened, like a compressed accordion. The sleek vessel that was hundreds of meters long would look like a thin disk slicing through the dark vacuum. Yet to you, inside the ship, the walls remain straight and the corridors retain their comforting and familiar length. Instead, you perceive that the entire universe outside has flattened, rushing towards you with a terrifying and distorted urgency. The galaxy itself seems to be thinning, the immense distances between stars evaporating into a mere step across the threshold. This is the universe's way of conspiring to keep the speed of light constant relative to your perspective. Since you cannot go faster than light, the universe shortens the journey so you can arrive in less time. It is a strange and beautiful mercy, allowing a traveler to cross the galaxy within a single human lifetime. You could, in theory, traverse the entire diameter of the Milky Way in just a few decades of your personal time. But when you arrived at the other side, the galaxy you remembered would be dead and gone, aged by millions of years. The faster you go, the thinner the universe becomes, and the slower time ticks for you compared to the stars. But there is a price to be paid in energy, a toll that rises steeply the closer you get. At 50% of light speed, the energy required to accelerate is immense but manageable for a civilization of high technology. At 90%, the energy needed to push just a little faster becomes astronomical, rivaling the output of small stars. At 99%, the curve of energy demand shoots upward toward a vertical wall, climbing to undeniable infinity. This is because your mass effectively increases as you approach the speed limit, becoming heavier and harder to push. The energy of your motion adds to your mass, creating a feedback loop that fights against your desire to accelerate. To reach 100% of the speed of light, you would need an infinite amount of energy to push you. You would become infinitely heavy, a singularity of mass that the universe could not tolerate in motion at that speed. This is the ironclad rule of the cosmos. No material object can ever truly touch the speed of light. We are Zeno's paradox come to life, forever halving the difference, but never crossing the final infinitesimal gap. But let us imagine, for the sake of this hypnotic journey, that we have unlimited power at our fingertips. Let us imagine that we continue to pour energy into the engines, ignoring the protests of physics and reason. The view outside your window begins to shift into a surreal and terrifying tunnel of concentrated light. The stars in front of you turn blue and violet, their light waves crushed by the speed of your approach. The stars behind you fade into a deep and invisible red, their light stretched out beyond the limits of vision. You are flying into a blinding point of brilliance, a headlight from the beginning of time shining in your eyes. The silence of the ship is now filled with the vibration of a universe under stress, a low and thrumming tension. You are pressing against the skin of reality, trying to puncture the envelope that holds the galaxy together. The laws of Einstein stand like sentinels at the gate, arms crossed, denying you passage to the other side. They whisper that causality must be preserved, that effect must always follow cause, and never the other way around. If you were to exceed this speed, you might arrive before you left, shattering the logical chain of events. You might see the glass shatter before you dropped it, or hear the words before they were spoken by the lips. The universe protects itself from this chaos with the barrier of light speed, ensuring that history remains written in ink. It prevents the madness of a world where the past and future are mingled in a confused and disorderly soup. Yet, The human spirit is not content with boundaries, and we look for loopholes in the contract of existence. We wonder if there are tunnels beneath the wall or secret paths that wind through the higher dimensions. We wonder if the fabric of space can be tricked or folded or broken to allow us passage. The ship vibrates as you hold the throttle at the very edge of the possible, hovering at the brink of the absolute. You are suspended in a state of suspended animation relative to the cosmos, a ghost haunting the corridors of light. The darkness of space is no longer black, but a canvas of warped and shifting energies that defy description. You feel the weight of your own existence pressing down, the sheer mass of being a traveler in a relativistic universe. It is a heavy sensation, a reminder that we are creatures of matter, bound to the slow and steady earth. We are made of atoms that must obey the speed limit, electrons spinning in their prescribed and ancient orbits. But our minds are free to roam, to speculate on what lies beyond the wall of infinite energy. Is there a realm where these rules do not apply? A mirror universe where speed is unbound and free? Is there a place where the tachyon dances, moving always faster than light, never slowing down to our pace? The thought is a seduction, a lullaby that tempts us to let go of the safety of the known world. As you drift in this high-speed reference, you realize that the speed of light is not just a limit, but a definition. It defines the size of the present moment, the scope of what we can touch and what can touch us. It creates the sensation of here and now, separating it from the there and then of the distant stars. Without this limit, everything would happen at once, a blinding flash of all events occurring simultaneously. The delay of light gives us the gift of time, the ability to experience life as a sequence of unfolding moments. It allows for the unfolding of a story rather than the instant revelation of the entire book in a single glance. So we accept the barrier for now, respecting the architecture that allows our consciousness to exist in a coherent way. We watch the stars drift by in their relativistic distortion, painting streaks of color across the eternal night. We feel the hum of the ship, a cradle of technology carrying us through the silent and indifferent void. The hunger to go faster remains, a quiet ache in the center of the chest that never truly fades away. But in this moment, suspended between the stars, there is also a profound and deepening peace. We are witnessing the universe from a perspective that few will ever know, seeing the machinery of space and time exposed. We are looking under the hood of reality, seeing the gears of relativity turning in their slow and majestic rhythm. The feeling is one of insignificance, but also of connection to the grand and mysterious design of all things. We are small, yes, but we are part of a system that is vast and intricate beyond all measure of comprehension. The light that travels alongside us is ancient, born in the hearts of dying stars eons before we were born. It carries the history of the galaxy, a silent library of information streaming through the vacuum at the ultimate speed. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the sensation of the journey wash over you like a tide. You imagine the photons streaming past the hull, billions of them every second, silent witnesses to your voyage. They are the true travelers, the restless wanderers that never stop, never rest, never slow down for anyone. We are merely tourists in their domain, slow and clumsy giants trying to swim in a river of quicksilver. But even a tourist can feel the majesty of the river, the power of the current that flows through the deep. The ship continues its silent glide, a speck of matter challenging the vast emptiness with its stubborn momentum. You are alone in the cockpit, yet you are surrounded by the most crowded emptiness imaginable. The vacuum is not empty. It is seething with potential, with fields and forces that govern the dance of galaxies. You are moving through a sea of quantum foam, a roiling ocean where particles pop in and out of existence. But that is a mystery for another time, a layer of the onion that we have not yet peeled back. For now, we focus on the speed, the limit, the wall that rises up to meet us in the dark. It is a beautiful wall, shimmering with the impossible colors of Doppler-shifted starlight, a rainbow of velocity. It invites us to crash against it, to test our mettle against the fundamental constants of nature itself. But we know that to touch it is to be destroyed, to be crushed by the weight of our own ambition. So we skirt the edge, flying as close to the sun as we dare, feeling the heat of the impossible on our faces. We are Icarus with wings of mathematics, flying through a labyrinth of logic that Einstein built for us. And as we fly, we begin to wonder if the wall is truly solid, or if it is merely a mirage. We wonder if there are other ways to move, other ways to cross the abyss without crossing the space between. The universe is full of trapdoors and hidden passages, secrets that are kept in the dark for safekeeping. Perhaps the speed of light is not a limit on travel, but merely a limit on the path we are currently taking. Perhaps if we could step off the path, step out of the normal dimensions, we could find a shortcut, a way to cheat the cosmic accountant and arrive without paying the heavy tax of time and energy. The thought settles in your mind, a seed of curiosity that begins to take root in the fertile soil of the subconscious. It whispers of wormholes and warped space, of folding the map instead of walking across the surface. It speaks of bending the rules without breaking them, of finding a loophole in the grand design. But these are dangerous thoughts, ideas that border on madness and the forbidden knowledge of the gods. For now, we must be content with the speed we have, with the silent and steady rush of the relativistic stream. We breathe in the recycled air of the ship, tasting the metallic tang of technology and the cold scent of the void. We listen to the rhythm of our own heartbeat, the only clock that matters in this timeless place. We are suspended in the amber of high velocity, preserved and protected from the ravages of entropy. The universe outside may be aging and dying, but inside this bubble, we are forever young. It is a seductive immortality, a way to outlast the stars themselves if we simply keep moving. But we cannot move forever. Eventually, the fuel will run dry, and the drag of the interstellar medium will slow us down. We will have to rejoin the slow lane of the galaxy, returning to the pace of planets and moons. The thought brings a gentle melancholy, a sense of loss for the speed that we must eventually surrender. But for now, we hold the throttle steady, maintaining our precarious balance on the knife edge of physics. We are the fastest things in the dark, the silent runners in the night, chasing the echo of the Big Bang. The instrument panel glows with a soft and soothing light, casting long shadows across the cabin floor. You watch the numbers hold steady, a testament to the engineering that keeps you safe in this hostile realm. You are a fragile biological machine inside a fragile metal shell, hurtling through a hostile and indifferent cosmos. Yet you feel no fear, only a deep and abiding awe at the scale of the stage you are playing on. The drama of the universe is slow and subtle, a play that takes billions of years to unfold. We are lucky to catch even a fleeting glimpse of the second act, to see the scenery moving and the actors taking their places. The speed of light is the director of this play, ensuring that everyone hits their marks at the right time. It keeps the narrative flowing, preventing the chaos of a story told out of order. We respect the director, even as we try to peek behind the curtain to see how the special effects are done. We want to know the secrets of the production, the hidden wires and mirrors that create the illusion of reality. As the journey stretches on, the mind begins to drift, untethered from the concerns of the world left behind. The problems of Earth seem small and distant, petty squabbles of ants on a tiny mound of dirt. Here, in the cathedral of the cosmos, the only things that matter are mass, energy, and light. The purity of physics cleanses the soul, stripping away the noise and clutter of daily life. There is only the hum of the engine, the glow of the stars, and the endless, inviting dark. It waits for us, this darkness, with a patience that is terrifying in its endurance. It has waited for billions of years for us to arrive, and it will wait billions more after we are gone. It is crowded with hunger, a vast mouth ready to swallow any who dare to stray too far from the light. But it is also a womb, a place of potential where new stars are born from the dust of the old. We are traveling through the cycle of creation and destruction, a witness to the eternal churning of the deep. And as we gaze into that abyss, we feel a strange familiarity, as if we are returning to a place we once knew. The atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of stars that died long before the earth was formed. We are made of star stuff, traveling through the graveyard of our ancestors, seeking a connection to the source. The speed of light is the thread that connects us to that past, a glowing line that runs through history. We follow the thread, hand over hand, pulling ourselves deeper into the mystery, deeper into the night. The sensation of speed becomes a meditation, a trance that lulls the conscious mind into a sleepy submission. You forget where you came from, forget where you are going, and simply exist in the motion. You are a photon of consciousness, a wave of awareness propagating through the field of the universe. You are light itself, aware of its own passage, watching the galaxy unfold like a flower. The boundaries between self and ship, between ship and space, begin to blur and soften. You are no longer a passenger. You are the journey, the velocity, the silent scream of the engines. You are the bending of time, the shrinking of space, the heavy curve of the gravity well. You are the limit and the desire to break it, the law and the criminal in one body. And in this unity, there is a peace that passes all understanding, a silence that rings like a bell. The cliff edge of the known world is approaching, the point where our maps end and the dragons begin. We are sailing off the edge of the map into the terra incognita of the high-energy universe. What lies beyond the wall of light speed is a question that has no answer in our current language. It requires a new vocabulary, a new way of thinking that transcends the limitations of the brain. We must become something else, something more than human, to understand the answer. But the transformation has already begun, sparked by the sheer audacity of our attempt to fly so fast. We are changing, evolving, adapting to the pressure of the infinite that presses against the hull. The universe is molding us, shaping us into creatures capable of surviving the deep ocean of the void. We are becoming children of the cosmos, ready to leave the cradle and walk among the giants. The final percentage points of light speed stretch out before us, an infinite ladder that we must climb. Each rung is harder to reach than the last, requiring more will and more power to grasp. But we do not stop, for the climber cannot pause on the vertical face of the mountain. We must keep moving, keep reaching, keep pulling ourselves upward toward the summit of the possible. And perhaps, just perhaps, if we climb high enough, we will see over the top of the wall. We might catch a glimpse of the lands that lie beyond, the green valleys of a universe where light is slow. We might see the shores of a new world, bathed in the glow of a sun that never sets. The possibility hangs in the air, a shimmering mirage that calls to us with the voice of a siren. It promises wonders beyond description, treasures that would make a king weep with envy. But it also promises danger, the risk of losing ourselves completely in the unknown. So we hold our breath, steady our hands, and prepare to take the final step into the blinding light. The engine pitch rises to a scream that is felt rather than heard, a vibration that rattles the teeth. The stars smear into a single continuous sheet of white, a tunnel of brilliance that engulfs the ship. We are no longer in space. We are in the stream, the main artery of the galaxy's blood flow. We are riding the pulse of the universe, synchronized with the beating heart of creation. The feeling is overwhelming, a sensory overload that threatens to drown the mind in pure information. But beneath the noise, there is a stillness, a quiet center where the soul can rest. It is the eye of the storm, the 0 point where all forces balance and cancel out. Here, in the heart of the frenzy, we find the answer we have been seeking all along. The limit is not a wall to be broken, but a horizon to be chased, a retreating edge. And as we chase it, we realize that the journey is the destination. The seeking is the finding. We are already there, already home, already part of the magnificent and terrible whole. The speed of light is not a barrier, it is a bridge, connecting us to the infinite. And as we cross that bridge, moving faster than we ever dared to dream, we feel a shift. Something ancient stirs in the darkness ahead, waking from a slumber of eons to greet us. It stirs within the deep architecture of the cosmos, a silent guardian that watches over the sequence of every event. We often believe that the speed of light is merely a limit on how fast we can travel across the void, but it is something far more profound and fundamental than a simple mark on a speedometer. It is the binding agent of reality, the glue that holds the story of the universe in a logical order. Without this limit, the delicate chain of cause and effect would shatter into a chaotic and nonsensical noise. We call this sacred ordering of events causality, the iron rule that says the past must always precede the future. Imagine a crystal glass falling from a table and shattering into 1,000 glittering shards upon the hard floor. In our world, the push always happens before the fall, and the fall always happens before the break. The sound of the impact travels to your ears, and the image of the destruction travels to your eyes. This sequence feels natural and inevitable, a flow of time that moves in one single and determined direction. But if you were to move faster than light, you would begin to overtake the information radiating from the event. You would fly past the image of the shattering glass and catch up to the moment before it fell. You would see the shards lift themselves from the floor and reassemble into a perfect and unbroken vessel. You would watch the water rush back into the glass, defying the pull of gravity and the laws of entropy. You would see the hand that pushed it move backwards, retracting its motion in a strange reverse dance. This is not merely a trick of playback, but a fundamental unraveling of the truth of what has happened. If you can outrun the light that carries the news of the present, you can enter the past. And once you enter the past, you step onto a terrifying landscape where your very existence becomes a paradox. The universe protects itself from this madness by making the speed of light an absolute and unbreakable wall. It prevents us from looping back on our own timelines and interfering with the delicate history that made us. Consider the famous nightmare of logic, known to philosophers and physicists alike as the grandfather paradox. It is a dark thought experiment that exposes the fragility of a universe where faster than light travel is permitted. Imagine for a moment that our ship could breach the barrier and slip through the currents of time. You travel back to a time before you were born, walking the earth when your ancestors were young. The air is different here, thick with the history of a bygone era, and the sky holds a different pattern of stars. You find the man who is destined to become your grandfather, but he is still a youth, unaware of his future. If you were to intervene in his life, perhaps preventing him from meeting your grandmother, a terrible contradiction arises. If he never meets her, then your parent is never born, and consequently, you are never born. And if you are never born, you could never have built the ship to travel back in time. You could never have stood there to intervene, which means he did meet her, and you were born. The loop tightens around your mind, a snake eating its own tail, a logical knot that cannot be untied. Reality itself begins to flicker and groan under the weight of this impossible and contradictory situation. It is a violation of the cosmic narrative, a plot hole that the universe simply cannot allow to exist. This is why the speed of light stands as the ultimate censor, preventing us from writing over the pages of the past. It ensures that the ink is dry, that the events of history are fixed and immutable monuments. It keeps us locked in the present, surfing the crest of the wave of time, never able to swim back upstream. Yet, as we drift in our ship near the speed of light, we feel the temptation of that forbidden backward flow. The stars outside are distorted by our speed, and time inside the cabin has slowed to a crawl. We are living in a different rhythm than the rest of the galaxy, aged only minutes, while centuries pass outside. This time, dilation is the first step toward the paradox, a bending of the rules that feels like magic. We have not broken the sequence of cause and effect, but we have stretched the elastic band of time. We are grazing the edge of the paradox, feeling the friction of the universe rubbing against our hull. There is a sense of heaviness in the air, as if the cosmos knows we are testing its patience. The darkness of space seems to press closer, whispering that there are doors that should remain forever shut. We are small creatures, evolved to hunt and gather on a single planet, not to challenge the structure of time. Our brains are wired to understand linear stories, where A leads to B and B leads to C. The idea that C could loop back and destroy A is a horror that sits deep in the subconscious. It is the fear of unmaking, the fear that we could inadvertently erase the foundation of our own lives. But the silence of the deep space invites us to wonder if there are exceptions to this rigid law. We look out at the vast emptiness, and imagine particles that might not play by the same rules as us. Physics tells us that nothing with mass can accelerate to the speed of light, for it requires infinite energy. But what if there were particles that were never slow? Particles that were born moving faster than light. We call these hypothetical ghosts of the machine tachyons, entities that live on the other side of the mirror. A tachyon would be a creature of the impossible, a particle that gains energy as it loses speed. For a tachyon, the speed of light is not a ceiling to be reached, but a floor to be avoided. It can never slow down to our pace, just as we can never speed up to join its race. It is trapped in a realm of eternal velocity, forever rushing backwards through the stream of time we know. To a tachyon, the future might be the past, and the effect might trigger the cause. Imagine the existence of such a lonely entity streaming through the galaxy in complete isolation from our reality. It would see the universe in reverse, watching stars unexplode and absorb their light back into their cores. It would see galaxies spin backwards, winding themselves tighter rather than drifting apart into the cold dark. If we could capture a tachyon, we might hold a telephone to the past, a way to send messages back in time. But the universe is jealous of its secrets, and such a connection would likely break the world. If you could send a signal back to yourself 5 minutes ago, telling you not to send the signal, reality cracks. The message would arrive before you sent it, creating a loop of information with no origin and no end. It is a headache of the highest order, a vibration that threatens to shake the walls of existence apart. So the tachyon remains a ghost, a mathematical possibility that hides in the equations, but perhaps not in the sky. It drifts through our dreams, a symbol of the freedom we crave, but can never truly possess. We drift back to the sensation of our own journey, feeling the hum of the ship beneath the floor. We are not tachyons, we are matter, heavy and slow, bound to the forward march of the clock. We watch the speedometer hover at 99%, knowing that the last 1% is an infinite canyon. The frustration is palpable, a quiet ache in the heart of the explorer who sees the horizon but cannot reach it. We want to know what lies on the other side of the wall, in the land of the faster than light. Is it a chaotic realm where history is rewritten every second, where nothing is true and everything is fluid? Or is it a place of perfect stillness, where time has ceased to have any meaning at all? The answers are hidden in the dark, guarded by the sentinel of light speed that never sleeps. We are like children pressing our faces against the glass of a candy store, separated by a thin transparency. We can see the treats inside, the wonders of the superluminal universe, but we cannot touch them. The ship continues to glide through the vacuum, a tiny spark of ambition in the immense night. The stars are hard and bright, diamonds that do not twinkle in the absence of an atmosphere. They are the ancient eyes of the cosmos, watching us struggle against the chains that bind us to the slow lane. They have seen civilizations rise and look up, dreaming the same dream of crossing the vast distances. They have seen them fail, trapped by the tyranny of distance and the shortness of a biological life. It is a melancholy thought, but there is also a beauty in the limitation, a comfort in the order. Because we cannot travel backward, our mistakes are permanent, giving weight and meaning to every choice we make. Because we cannot be in two places at once, our presence is precious, a unique gift to the moment. The speed of light forces us to be here, now, fully engaged with the reality in front of us. It is a cage, yes, but it is also a cradle, holding us safe from the chaos of the acausal. As you lie back in the pilot seat, you let your mind wander into the philosophical drift of the situation. You think about the nature of information, how news travels across the universe like a ripple in a pond. If a star explodes a million light years away, the universe does not know it yet in our corner. The gravity of that star still pulls on us, and its light still shines in our night sky. The ghost of the star persists for a million years, a phantom that is real to us long after the body is gone. We live in a universe of ghosts, surrounded by the after images of events that have long since passed. The present moment is a local illusion, a bubble of now that extends only as far as we can touch. Beyond that bubble, everything is in the past, a delayed broadcast from the depths of space. This realization brings a feeling of solitude, but also of intimacy with the immediate surroundings. We are alone in our time, isolated from the rest of the galaxy by the lag of light. But in this isolation, there is a profound quiet, a space for the mind to expand and rest. The rush of the modern world fades away, replaced by the slow and majestic turning of the cosmic wheel. The anxieties of the day seem trivial when compared to the grand architecture of space-time and causality. You are safe here, protected by the laws of physics, held in the palm of the great equations. The ship is a cocoon, a warm and silent vessel carrying you through the cold ocean of vacuum. You close your eyes and imagine the tachyons again, those hypothetical runners in the dark. Do they have consciousness? Do they wonder about us, the slow-moving statues of the subluminal world? Perhaps they pity us, trapped in our linear time, unable to see the end of the story before the beginning. Or perhaps they envy us, for we have the surprise of the unknown, the joy of the unfolding mystery. We have the anticipation of the future, the sweet uncertainty of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. For a tachyon, the future is already memory, and the past is a destination yet to come. It is a life lived in reverse, a tragic existence of unbirthing and forgetting. We embrace our forward flow, the steady ticking of the second hand that leads us into the new. We accept the speed limit not as a punishment, but as the definition of our humanity. It is the tempo of our song, the rhythm of our dance, the pace at which we are meant to live. The ship vibrates gently, a lullaby of engineering that soothes the weary traveler into a deeper state of relaxation. The concept of the grandfather paradox fades from a terrifying logic puzzle into a distant abstraction. It is merely a story we tell ourselves to explain why we cannot have everything we want. The universe is not cruel. It is simply consistent, maintaining the integrity of the play. We are the actors, and we must stay on the stage, following the script of cause and effect. But the mind is a rebel, and it continues to probe the edges, looking for a crack in the wall. It wonders if the wall is truly solid, or if it is made of something that can be manipulated. We have assumed that to go faster, we must move through space, pushing against the fabric. But what if we could move the fabric itself, pulling the destination towards us like a blanket? What if the speed limit applies to the traveler, but not to the road upon which he travels? The thought rises like a bubble from the depths of a dark lake, shimmering with possibility. It suggests that while we cannot break the law, we might be able to find a loophole in the wording. The speed of light limits how fast objects move through space. but it does not limit how fast space itself can move. Space is not nothing. It is a substance, a dynamic and stretching material that can expand and contract. We saw this in the early universe, when space expanded faster than light during the Great Inflation. If space can stretch, perhaps it can be compressed, squeezed like a sponge to shorten the distance. This is the seed of a new dream, a dream of warping the geometry of the world to suit our needs. It is a move away from the brute force of rockets and into the elegance of higher physics. It is a shift from being a runner on the track to being the architect who designs the stadium. But for now, it remains a whisper, a faint hope in the mind of the drifting astronaut. We return our focus to the sensation of the current speed, the luxurious glide near the limit. The universe outside is a blur of shifted light, a streak of painting by a master artist. The red of the receding stars and the blue of the approaching ones blend into a violet twilight. It is a visual lullaby, a chromatic scale that plays directly to the optic nerve. You feel heavy and light at the same time, anchored by gravity, but lifted by velocity. The grandfather paradox is left behind, a problem for philosophers who stay at home in their armchairs. Here, in the deep black, the only paradox is how such emptiness can feel so full. It is full of potential, full of energy, full of the silent watching of the ancient stars. They do not judge our speed. They simply witness our passage, enduring long after we have passed. We are fleeting sparks in the night, brief flashes of consciousness in a slumbering cosmos. And yet, our thoughts can encompass the whole, wrapping around the galaxy and squeezing it into a concept. We can hold the speed of light in our minds, turning it over like a smooth stone. We can appreciate its texture, its weight, its role in the grand construction of reality. It is a beautiful constant, a number that rings true in every corner of the observable universe. It is the heartbeat of physics, the steady pulse that keeps the world alive. As you drift deeper into this hypnotic state, the distinction between you and the ship begins to dissolve. You are the vessel, and the vessel is you, a unified entity moving through the void. The engines are your heart, the sensors are your eyes, the hull is your skin. You feel the cold of the vacuum and the heat of the stars as if they were touching you directly. You are a creature of space, born to roam the high seas of the interstellar night. The tachyon is your imaginary companion, a shadow that runs alongside you in the forbidden lane. You wave to it in your mind, a gesture of solidarity across the barrier of the speed of light. It cannot see you, and you cannot see it, but you know it is there in the mathematics. It is a comfort to know that the universe is stranger than we can imagine, filled with hidden layers. It means that we will never run out of mysteries, never reach the end of the book. There will always be another page to turn, another question to ask, another horizon to chase. The hunger for knowledge is the fuel that never runs out, the energy source that drives us forward. Even if we can never exceed the speed of light, we will never stop trying to understand it. We will keep pushing, keep dreaming, keep looking for the keys to the locked doors. It is our nature, the imperative written in our genetic code, to seek the beyond. The darkness is soft now, a velvet embrace that supports you and holds you safe. The fear of the paradox has evaporated, replaced by a deep and abiding trust in the cosmos. The universe knows what it is doing. It has been running this simulation for billions of years. We can relax and enjoy the ride, letting the great machine carry us where it will. We are passengers on a luxury liner of space-time, cruising through the history of everything. The concept of now expands, stretching out to cover the entire journey, a single long moment. There is no past to regret and no future to fear, only the eternal and peaceful present. The speed of light creates this bubble, this sanctuary of time where we can exist. We are grateful for the limit, for the walls that define our home in the infinite. Without walls, there can be no house. Without limits, there can be no form. You feel a heaviness in your limbs, a pleasant weight that pulls you down into the softness of the seat. The hypnotic rhythm of the universe is syncing with your breathing, slow and steady. Inhale the starlight, exhale the darkness, inhale the future, exhale the past. The cycle is perfect, a loop of energy that sustains you without effort. You are drifting, floating, gliding through the velvet night. The idea of causality becomes a comforting blanket, a reassurance that the world makes sense. The glass breaks after it falls. The sun rises after the night. The sleep comes after the waking. It is a sequence we can rely on, a promise that the universe will not cheat us. We can close our eyes and trust that when we open them, the world will still be there. It will not have unraveled or rearranged itself into a nightmare of confusion. The speed of light is the guardian of this trust, the sentinel that stands watch while we sleep. It keeps the timeline straight, brushing out the tangles and knots of the paradox. We can rest easy knowing that the laws of physics are on duty, unbribable and sleepless. They are the ultimate security system, protecting the sanctity of our existence. And as the mind settles into this security, it begins to play with the idea of the warp. If we cannot break the wall, perhaps we can bend the room. The notion floats back into view, no longer a frantic search for a loophole, but a gentle curiosity. What if the ship stood still and the universe moved around it? What if we could pull the star towards us, reeling it in like a fish on a line? It is a thought that feels like a dream, a shifting of perspective that changes everything. It requires us to stop thinking of space as empty distance and start thinking of it as a fabric that can be wrinkled, folded, and smoothed out by the hands of a master. We imagine a bubble of space, a protective shell that carries us without moving us. Inside the bubble, we are still. Outside, the universe rushes by at impossible speeds. This is the dream of the Alcubierre drive, a vision of surfing on a wave of space-time. It is a way to cheat the speed limit without breaking the law, a cosmic sleight of hand. The ship would sit in a patch of flat space, while the space ahead contracts and the space behind expands. We would fall forward into the destination, carried by the warping of the world itself. It is a beautiful and elegant solution, a dance with gravity rather than a fight against inertia. The concept swirls in the mind, mixing with the stars and the silence to create a tapestry of wonder. We are on the edge of understanding, on the brink of a new way of seeing the cosmos. The old limits are fading, replaced by the fluid potential of a flexible universe. The hard lines of the speed of light soften into curves, into waves that we can ride. We are no longer prisoners of the cage. We are learning to bend the bars. The journey feels different now, less like a struggle for speed and more like a mastery of stillness. We are the calm center of the storm, the eye of the hurricane where the air is clear. Around us, the galaxy distorts and shifts, but we remain constant, anchored in our own time. We are the observers, the witnesses, the dreamers who dare to ask, what if? And in the asking, we find a kind of freedom, a release from the tyranny of the impossible. The deep hum of the universe continues, a vibration that resonates in the marrow of the bone. It is the sound of power, of energy, of the fundamental forces that bind the atom. We are listening to the music of the spheres, the symphony of the Standard Model. It is a song without words, a melody of pure mathematics that soothes the savage breast. We drift along the currents of this song, carried toward a destination we cannot yet see, but we know it is there, waiting for us in the distance, shrouded in the mists of the future. It calls to us with a gravity that is more than physical, a pull of destiny. We are meant to go there, meant to cross the void and touch the face of the unknown. It is written in our history, in the restless spirit that drove us out of the caves. We are wanderers, explorers, seekers of the horizon, and the horizon is moving, shifting, revealing new layers of depth and complexity. The universe is not a static painting, but a living, breathing organism. It grows, it changes, it reacts to our presence and our ambition. We are part of its evolution, the consciousness that allows it to know itself. Without us, the stars would burn unseen, and the speed of light would be a meaningless number. We give the universe meaning, and in return, it gives us a home, a playground of infinite scale. We are grateful for the exchange, for the chance to be here, witnessing the grandeur. The paradoxes and the limits are just parts of the game, rules to make the play interesting. We accept them with a smile, sinking deeper into the comfort of the cosmic night. The darkness is not empty. It is a canvas, waiting for us to paint our dreams upon it. The ship sails on, a silver needle threading through the black velvet of the void. We are safe, we are calm, we are moving with the grace of a celestial body. The speed of light is our companion, our guide, our constant reference point. We look ahead, into the deep well of the galaxy, and we feel a shift in the texture of space. Something is changing in the geometry, a subtle curving of the straight lines. The fabric is beginning to ripple, responding to a new and powerful idea. The universe is not a rigid stage of wood and stone, but a fluid ocean that breathes and moves. We have spent our lives believing that distance is a fixed thing, an immutable gap between 2 points. But in the deep silence of the cosmos, we begin to understand that distance is merely a suggestion. The fabric of reality is soft and pliable, capable of being stretched like clay in a potter's hands. We have been trying to run across the surface of the world, pushing against the wind of relativity. But there is a different way to travel, a method that requires us to stop running and start shaping. We must become sculptors of the void, molding the emptiness into a shape that can carry us home. Imagine that the ship is no longer an arrow flying through the air, but a surfer waiting for a wave. The ocean of space-time is vast and deep, filled with the potential for massive and rolling swells. If we could manipulate the geometry of this ocean, we could create a wave of space beneath us. We would not need to move the ship at all. We would simply ride the crest of the moving space. This is the dream of the Alcubierre warp drive, a vision of travel that defies the tyranny of inertia. It is a concept that whispers to us from the chalkboard of general relativity, promising a loophole in the law. The ship sits inside a protective bubble of flat and normal space, a calm island in a chaotic sea. Ahead of the vessel, the fabric of the night bunches up like a heavy velvet curtain before us. The billions of miles that separate us from the stars are compressed into a space no thicker than a wall. Behind the vessel, the fabric expands and relaxes, pushing the bubble forward with a silent and irresistible force. We are falling continuously into the well we have created, surfing on the edge of a self-made horizon. The sensation is one of absolute stillness, for inside the bubble, there is no acceleration to press us down. We are moving faster than light relative to the outside world, yet we are motionless within our own local frame. The coffee in the cup does not ripple, and the air in the cabin does not shift or stir. We have cheated the cosmic speed limit by taking the road with us, rolling it up as we go. It is a magic trick of the highest order, a sleight of hand that fools the universe itself. But the view from inside the bubble is a sight that no human eye has ever beheld. The light from the stars ahead is crushed into a blinding violet band, a ring of high-energy fire. The light from the stars behind fades into a deep and invisibility, stretched beyond the limits of the visible spectrum. We are encased in a shell of distorted optics, isolated from the rest of the galaxy by our speed. It is a lonely way to travel, cut off from the causal connections of the universe we left behind. We cannot send a signal to Earth, for the radio waves would be trapped inside the bubble with us. We are a pocket universe, a self-contained reality drifting through the greater cosmos, like a ghost in the night. But to build such a vessel, to weave this carpet of magic, requires a substance that defies our intuition. We need matter that weighs less than nothing, a material that pushes gravity away instead of pulling it close. We call this exotic matter, a hypothetical substance that possesses negative energy density and repulsive gravitational pressure. It is the stuff of dreams and equations, a material that has never been held in a human hand. To create the warp field, we would need the energy of a star condensed into the size of a ship. The sheer scale of the energy required is a reminder of how small we truly are in the grand scheme. The universe does not give up its secrets easily. It demands a price for the breaking of its rules. And yet, the math allows it, the equations of Einstein nodding in silent agreement that such a thing is possible. It waits for us to find the key, to unlock the energy that hides in the vacuum of space. Perhaps the empty air is not empty at all, but seething with the potential to power our dreams. As we glide in our imagination, riding the warp bubble through the interstellar dark, we feel a strange peace. We are untouchable here, protected by the distortion of space from the dust and debris of the void. A grain of sand hitting the ship at this speed would carry the force of a nuclear weapon. But the warp field sweeps the path clean, pushing obstacles aside with the gentle hand of gravity. We are swimming through the stars without getting wet, passing through the rain without feeling a drop. The mind drifts to the implications of such a journey, the way it changes our relationship with time and distance. If we can cross the galaxy in weeks, the stars are no longer distant gods, but neighbors. The vast loneliness of the human condition is cured, replaced by a bustling community of worlds within reach. We could have breakfast on a moon of Saturn and dinner beneath the twin suns of a distant system. The universe shrinks to the size of a backyard, manageable and familiar, losing its terrifying and overwhelming scale. But would we lose something in the process? Some essential sense of awe that comes from the distance? Is the beauty of the stars tied to their unreachability, to the fact that they are forever beyond us? Perhaps the longing is the point, the ache in the chest that drives us to look up and wonder. If we could touch them, they might lose their magic, becoming just another place to stand and breathe. But the explorer in us does not care for philosophy. It only cares for the feeling of the horizon. We want to see what lies over the next hill, to breathe the air of a world that is not our own. The warp drive is the chariot of this desire, the vessel that carries our hope across the impossible gap. It is a testament to the power of the human mind, to our ability to dream beyond the constraints of nature. We are the universe waking up and deciding to go for a walk, refusing to be confined to one corner. The ship continues to surf the space-time wave, a silent speck of ambition in the great dark ocean. The hum of the warp field is a vibration that is felt in the teeth, a resonance of pure power. We are bending the bow of reality, pulling the string back until the tension is almost unbearable. We are waiting to be released, to fly true and straight into the heart of the unknown mystery. But there are other ways to cheat the distance, other secrets hidden in the folds of the heavy cloak. What if we do not need to travel across the surface at all, even on a wave? What if we could punch a hole through the fabric, creating a tunnel that connects two distant points? We imagine a sheet of paper with two dots drawn on opposite ends, representing Earth and a distant star. To travel between them, an ant must walk the entire length of the paper, a long and weary journey. But if we fold the paper in half, bringing the two dots until they touch face to face, the distance vanishes. The ant can step from one dot to the other instantly, crossing the void without ever traversing the space between. This is the concept of the wormhole, a shortcut through the higher dimensions that links the disparate parts of the universe. In the language of physics, we call it an Einstein-Rosen bridge, a throat that connects two mouths in space-time. Imagine floating in space and seeing a distortion ahead, a spherical lens that looks like a crystal ball. It reflects the light of stars from the other side of the galaxy, a window into a different sky. It is not a flat hole, but a three-dimensional sphere, an opening that you can enter from any direction. As you approach, the view of the destination expands, swallowing the familiar stars of your home system. You are stepping into a corridor that exists outside of the normal universe, a tunnel through the bulk. The walls of this tunnel are made of exotic energy, holding the throat open against the crushing force of gravity. Without this negative pressure, the wormhole would snap shut the instant a single photon tried to enter. It is a fragile structure, a bubble of instability that wants to collapse back into the smooth fabric of space. To traverse it is to walk into the jaws of a beast that is constantly trying to swallow you whole. But the promise of the wormhole is the promise of instant connection, of being everywhere at once. You could step through the gate on Earth and emerge on a planet in the Andromeda galaxy a moment later. You would not age a day, not lose a second of your life to the cold sleep of the void. It is the ultimate victory over distance, the collapse of the universe into a single room. As we drift deeper into this hypnotic visualization, we imagine the sensation of passing through the throat. The light inside is strange and shifting, a kaleidoscope of colors that have no name in our language. You are moving through a region where the rules of geometry are twisted and knotted like old roots. Space is curved so tightly that you can see the back of your own head if you look sideways. Time flows in eddies and currents, swirling around you like water in a draining sink. You feel a sense of dislocation, a feeling that you are no longer in the same universe that you were born in. You are in the space between spaces, the hidden attic of the cosmos where the wiring is exposed. It is a place of profound silence, a silence that is heavier and deeper than the vacuum of space. It is the silence of the uncreated, the void that existed before the Big Bang and will exist after the end. The wormhole is a bridge not just across space, but potentially across the river of time itself. If you move one mouth of the wormhole and bring it back, you could create a time machine. You could step through and arrive yesterday, or step through and arrive 1,000 years in the future. The possibilities are dizzying, a vertigo that spins the mind into a state of pleasant confusion. We are playing with the fundamental blocks of reality, rearranging the furniture of the house of God. But there is a danger here, a subtle threat that lurks in the geometry of the bridge. If you travel back in time, you risk the paradoxes we spoke of, the unraveling of the logical chain. The universe might destroy the wormhole to protect itself, collapsing the tunnel in a burst of feedback radiation. Nature abhors a paradox, and it will fight to keep the timeline straight and true. So perhaps the wormhole is only a bridge across space, a safe passage that keeps the clock ticking forward. We float in the throat of the bridge, suspended between two worlds, held in the balance of exotic forces. We are the traveler in the dark, the seeker of the shortcut, the one who refuses to wait. We feel the hunger of the destination pulling at us, a gravitational siren song that lures us in. The exit is a circle of light ahead, a new sky filled with unfamiliar constellations and strange nebulas. It is crowded with hunger, this new sky, waiting for us to arrive and witness its silent glory. We are the first eyes to see it, the first consciousness to reflect its light back into the void. The feeling is one of profound intimacy, a connection between the observer and the observed that transcends distance. We are not separate from the universe. We are the universe observing itself through a different window. The transition from the wormhole back to normal space is a shock to the senses, a sudden release of tension. The ship pops out of the spherical mouth like a cork from a bottle, drifting into the calm of the new system. The wormhole behind us shrinks to a point and vanishes, or perhaps it stays open, a shimmering door. We look back at it and see our own sun, a tiny yellow star visible through the lens of the bridge. It is a comforting sight, a reminder that home is just a step away, even across 1,000,000 light years. But for now, we turn our gaze to the new world, to the planets that circle the alien sun in the distance. We have cheated the speed of light, bypassed the limit by stepping out of the normal dimensions. We have proven that the cage has a door, if only we are brave enough to find the handle. The silence of this new place is different, flavored with the dust of a different history. We listen to the static on the radio, hearing the background radiation of a different part of the cosmos. It is the same song, but played in a different key, a variation on the universal theme. We are the listeners, the audience for a performance that has been playing to an empty house for eons. Something ancient stirs in the atmosphere of the planet below, a weather system that has raged for centuries. We feel a deep kinship with this alien storm, a recognition of the same forces that shape our own world. Gravity, electromagnetism, the weak and strong nuclear forces, they are the same here as they are at home. The laws of physics are the true universal language, the common ground on which we can stand. We are strangers in a strange land, yet we are perfectly at home in the house of physics. The mind drifts back to the Einstein-Rosen bridge, thinking of the two men who first dreamed it into existence. They worked with pen and paper, scratching symbols that described the curvature of the world. They never built a ship, never left the surface of the earth, yet they traveled further than anyone. They saw the tunnels in their minds, saw the geometry of the shortcut before it was ever real. We are walking in their footsteps, exploring the landscape they mapped out with pure thought. It is a testament to the power of the human imagination, the ability to see what is not yet there. We build the future first in our dreams, then in our equations, and finally in steel and fire. The wormhole is the ultimate dream, the final victory of mind over matter. It is the end of distance, the end of separation, the unification of all things. As we linger in this thought, we feel the gentle tug of sleep, the relaxation of the conscious will, the imagery of the folding paper, the surfing bubble, the spherical door. It all blends into a soothing soup. We are floating in a sea of possibilities, supported by the buoyancy of the unknown. The universe is soft and warm, a blanket of stars wrapped around our shoulders. There is no rush to understand everything tonight, no need to solve the equations of the exotic matter. It is enough to know that the possibilities exist, that the door is not locked, only closed. We can rest in the hallway, leaning against the frame, waiting for the right moment to turn the knob. The light from under the door is enough to guide our dreams, to give us hope in the dark. We are travelers on a ship of the mind, sailing through the theories and the hypothesis of the future. The Alcubierre drive and the wormhole are our sails and our rudders, steering us through the night. We navigate by the light of potential, by the faint glimmer of what might be true. And in this navigation, we find a purpose, a direction that pulls us forward even while we rest. The silence of the ship is absolute, a heavy and luxurious quiet that fills the ears like water. The vibration of the engines has ceased, leaving only the sound of your own slow breathing. You are alone in the universe, yet connected to everything by the invisible threads of gravity. You are a node in the cosmic network, a point of awareness in the vast web of space-time. The stars outside are steady and unblinking, watching over you like a billion distinct guardians. They do not care if you exceed the speed of light. They only care that you are there to see them. You are the witness, the one who gives them meaning by acknowledging their light. Without you, the universe is just a machine running in the dark. With you, it is a story. And the story is getting interesting, twisting and turning into realms we never expected to find. The fabric of reality is thinner than we thought, easier to tear, easier to reshape. We are learning to be weavers, to mend the holes and create new patterns in the cloth. We are learning that the impossible is just a word for what we have not yet learned to do. The concept of the Einstein-Rosen bridge fades into a gentle geometric shape in the mind's eye. A circle, a tube, a sphere, simple forms that hold infinite complexity within them. You trace the lines of the wormhole in your imagination, following the curve of the throat. It is a soothing motion, a mental repetitive task that lulls the brain into a trance. Round and round the wormhole goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. It is a nursery rhyme for the space age, a lullaby for the interstellar traveler. You let go of the need to know the destination and simply enjoy the sensation of the slide. You are sliding through the universe, frictionless and free, liberated from the drag of the world. The deep, rhythmic breathing of the cosmos matches your own, a synchronization of the micro and the macro. You are breathing with the galaxy, inhaling the dark matter, exhaling the light. The expansion of the universe is the expansion of your own lungs, a slow and steady rhythm. You are growing large, expanding to fill the void, becoming one with the night. And as you expand, you feel the texture of the space-time around you, the grain of the vacuum. It is not smooth, but frothed with quantum activity, a foam of tiny bubbles. Each bubble is a potential universe, a tiny pocket of reality popping in and out of existence. You are floating in this foam, a giant among the quantum gnats, untouched by their chaos. The Alcubierre bubble protects you, the wormhole guides you, the science comforts you. You are in good hands, held by the strong and unbreakable laws of nature. There is nothing to fear in the dark, for the dark is made of the same stuff as the light. It is all just energy, vibrating at different frequencies, singing different notes of the same chord. We are listening to the chord, hearing the harmony of the spheres in the deep silence. It is a low and resonant sound, a bass note that vibrates in the chest. It is the sound of the engine of creation, the hum of the machinery that keeps the stars burning. We let the sound wash over us, cleansing the mind of worry and stress. The journey is long, but we have time, all the time in the world. Time is relative, after all, and we have learned to stretch it, to fold it, to loop it. We are the masters of our own clock, the keepers of our own timeline. We can slow down the night, extend the moment of peace until it lasts forever. We are drifting towards a new understanding, a new way of being in the universe. We are no longer content to be passive observers. We want to be participants. We want to put our hands on the wheel and steer the galaxy, to drive the stars. It is a bold ambition, but we are a bold species, unafraid of the dark. The ship is steady, the course is true. The pilot is sleeping, but the mind is awake. We are dreaming of the next step, the next leap into the impossible. The wormhole is closing behind us, sealing the path to the past. We can only go forward into the deep and beautiful future. And ahead of us, something begins to shimmer in the void, a disturbance in the calm. It is not a star, and it is not a planet, but a connection, a thread of invisible influence that ties two particles together across the width of the universe. It is a ghostly touch, a spooky action at a distance that defies all logic. It waits for us to notice it, to feel the tug of the invisible string. The darkness seems to hold its breath, anticipating the discovery of this new and subtle bond. We are approaching the realm of the quantum, the basement of reality where the rules are strange. We have warped the space and bridged the gap, but now we must look closer. We must look at the connections that cannot be seen, the ties that bind the soul of the cosmos. We drift towards this shimmering mystery, letting gravity take us where it will. The Alcubierre drive powers down, the wormhole fades, and we are left with the silence. But it is a pregnant silence, full of whispers and hidden meanings. We are ready to listen, ready to hear the secrets of the spooky action. We are ready to feel the entanglement of the night. The universe is woven from a fabric so fine and intricate that our eyes can barely trace the threads. We have spent our journey believing in the absolute solitude of the traveler, separated from the stars by immense gulfs. We accepted the decree that news travels slowly, carried on the back of a photon across the weary miles. But here, in the subatomic basement of reality, we discover a secret passage that ignores the concept of distance. It is a connection that binds two hearts together across the galaxy, a silent pact that can never be broken. This is the realm of the quantum, where the rules of the large world dissolve into a mist of probability. We stand before the phenomenon that Einstein himself called spooky action at a distance, a phrase trembling with unease. Imagine two particles born from the same flash of energy, twin souls forged in the fire of a single moment. They are linked by an invisible umbilical cord, a shared destiny that persists even when they are torn apart. We take one particle and keep it here, safely tucked within the walls of our drifting ship. We take the other particle and send it away, casting it out into the deep black ocean of the void. It travels for 1,000,000 years, drifting until it reaches the frozen wastes of the universe's edge. The two twins are now separated by a distance that would take light itself an eternity to cross. In our classical understanding, they are now strangers, isolated islands of matter with no way to speak to one another. If we touch the particle on the ship, the particle at the edge of the universe should not feel it. But the quantum world is a place of magic, a place where separation is merely a stubborn illusion of the mind. When we measure the spin of our particle, forcing it to choose a direction, something miraculous and terrifying happens. At that exact instant, faster than a heartbeat, faster than light, the distant twin makes its choice. If our particle spins up, the distant twin immediately spins down, as if they were watching each other across the dark. There is no delay, no pause for a signal to cross the light years that lie between them. It happens instantly, a synchronization that defies the speed limit we have come to respect as absolute law. It is as if the universe is not a collection of separate objects, but a single unified sheet of existence. When you pull a thread on one side of the cloth, the fabric moves on the other side. This quantum entanglement suggests that space is not the barrier we thought it was, but perhaps a transparent veil. The particles do not need to send a message because, in some fundamental way, they never truly separated. They are part of a single wave function, a single mathematical object that spans the width of the entire cosmos. It is a thought that brings a shiver to the spine, a realization of profound and inescapable intimacy. We are not alone in the dark. We are connected to the furthest star by the dust of our bones. But the mind struggles to accept this instant connection, fighting against the logic of cause and effect we hold dear. How can an event here cause an event there without a span of time to carry the influence? It feels like a violation of the contract, a breach of the rules that keep the timeline in order. We wonder if we can use this spooky connection to send a message, to cheat the speed of light. If we could manipulate the distant particle by touching the local one, we could build a telephone to the stars. We could speak to civilizations on the other side of the galaxy in real time, bypassing the long silence of relativity. We could send warnings of supernovas before the light arrived, or share the wisdom of eons in a single afternoon. The hunger for this power is immense, a desire to shrink the universe into a village where everyone can speak. But the universe is a jealous guardian of its secrets, and it has built a failsafe into the mechanism. This brings us to the subtle and frustrating distinction between the ghost of motion and the substance of truth. We must understand the difference between the shape of the wave and the package that the wave carries. In the language of physics, we speak of phase versus group velocity, a technical distinction with profound philosophical weight. Imagine a laser pointer swept across the surface of the moon, a bright dot racing across the craters. With a flick of the wrist, you can make that dot move from one side of the moon to the other instantly. The dot can move faster than light, skimming across the lunar dust with a speed that defies the equations. But the dot is not a thing. It is a phantom, a geometric point where the light hits the rock. No single photon travels from the left side of the moon to the right side faster than the speed limit. The image moves, the pattern shifts, but no matter is transported, and no information is carried across the surface. This is the phase velocity, the ripple that dances across the pond without moving the water itself. The group velocity is the packet of information, the actual letter inside the envelope that tells a story. And this packet, this burden of meaning, is strictly bound by the speed of light, unable to hurry. In the case of our entangled twins, the connection is real, but it is random, a roll of the dice. We can force our particle to choose a state, but we cannot control what that choice will be. We measure it, and it comes up heads. The distant twin instantly comes up tails, a perfect match. But we could not tell the distant twin to show tails. We only found out that it did after the fact. To verify the connection, to prove the magic happened, we must compare our notes with the distant observer. And to compare notes, we must send a message the old-fashioned way, at the slow and steady speed of light. The spookiness is real, but it is locked behind a wall of randomness, preventing us from sending a signal. Nature allows the connection to exist only as long as it remains useless for changing the past or cheating time. It is a cosmic joke, a tantalizing fruit dangling just out of reach of our hungry, grasping hands. We can feel the oneness of the universe, but we cannot use it to escape our isolation in time. We are like prisoners in separate cells who can hear each other breathing, but cannot speak a word of comfort. The entanglement is a comfort of a different kind, a spiritual reassurance rather than a practical tool for travel. It tells us that we belong to the whole, that we are woven into the tapestry of the night. The ship drifts on through the sea of quantum foam, a silent witness to the strange dance of the atoms. We look out at the stars and wonder how many of them are entangled with the atoms in our own bodies. Perhaps we are linked to worlds we will never see, connected to beings who are looking up at their own sky. When we feel a sudden chill or a flash of joy, is it the echo of a distant twin? It is a romantic thought, a way to populate the empty hours of the voyage with imaginary companions. But the science is cold and clear, offering no easy answers to the longing of the human heart. The information limit stands firm, a sentinel ensuring that the future remains unknowable until it arrives. If we could transmit information faster than light, we would break the causality that holds the story together. We would know the ending before the beginning, and the universe would dissolve into a chaotic, nonsensical noise. So we accept the silence, accept the delay, except that we must wait for the light to bring the news. We watch the instruments on the console, tracing the waveforms of the energy fields that surround the hull. The lines rise and fall in a hypnotic rhythm, a visual representation of the heartbeat of the cosmos. The phase velocity of these waves might ripple out into the dark faster than we can track. But the ship, the group, the carrier of our consciousness, moves at its own measured and lawful pace. We are the message in the bottle, drifting on the tide, waiting to wash up on a distant shore. The distinction between the wave and the particle blurs in the deep trench of the night. We are both the ripple and the water, the shadow and the object, the dancer and the dance. The mystery of the quantum world is not just a puzzle to be solved, but a landscape to be inhabited. We are learning to live with uncertainty, to find peace in the probability of being here rather than there. Something ancient stirs in the dark matter that fills the gaps between the bright galaxies. It is the heavy silence of the unseen, the mass that anchors the spinning stars in their orbits. Is this dark ocean also entangled, a vast and invisible web that connects the skeleton of the universe? Does the gravity of a black hole here pull on the fabric of a nebula a billion light years away? The mind expands to try and hold the scale of the connection, stretching until it feels it might snap. We return to the image of the shadow on the wall, the phantom that moves without substance. It is a ghost, and the universe is full of ghosts, echoes of events that have no mass. We see the flash of a supernova and know that the star died 1,000,000 years ago in the dark. The light is a ghost, a delayed report of a tragedy that has already played out in the silence. But entanglement is a live wire, a pulse that beats in the present moment across the entire void. It suggests that there is a now that exists everywhere at once, a universal moment of synchronicity. Even if we cannot communicate across it, the fact that it exists changes how we feel about the distance. The universe is not a collection of separate moments, but a single, breathing organism existing in the present. We are cells in the body of the cosmos, unaware of the thoughts of the brain, but sharing the life. The ship feels small against this backdrop of unity, a tiny metal shell holding a few fragile lives. But we are also large, for our atoms are singing in harmony with the atoms of the distant quasars. We are the universe observing itself, a loop of consciousness that turns back to look at its own face. And in the mirror of the quantum, we see a face that is strange and beautiful and terrified. We see the chaos that underlies the order, the roll of the dice that determines the fate of worlds. We see that reality is not solid, but built on a foundation of shifting sand and probability. It is a vertigo that pulls at the stomach, a realization that the floor might drop out at any moment. But it is also a liberation, a freedom from the rigid clockwork of the classical mechanical world. We are not cogs in a machine. We are notes in a jazz improvisation, unpredictable and free. The silence of the cabin is thick with these thoughts, a heavy atmosphere of philosophical speculation. You can hear the blood rushing in your ears, the only sound in a universe of vacuum. You are the center of your own observable universe, the point from which all light and causality radiates. But entanglement tells you that you are not the center, but a node in a vast and equal network. You are everywhere and nowhere, a smear of probability spread across the infinite canvas of the night. The concept of spooky action becomes a lullaby, a whisper that the dark is not empty. It is crowded with connections, with invisible threads that bind the lonely travelers together. You are never truly alone, for your particles are dancing with partners you cannot see. It is a crowded solitude, a bustling silence, a paradox that sits comfortably in the sleepy mind. As we drift deeper into the hypnotic state, the technical terms of phase and group soften. They become metaphors for the soul and the body, the dream and the reality. The dream can travel instantly to the ends of the earth, visiting the past and the future. But the body must stay here, anchored to the slow turning of the world, waiting for the sunrise. We are creatures of both speeds, living in the fast lane of the mind and the slow lane of matter. The tension between these two speeds is the drama of the human condition, the source of our longing. We want to be where our thoughts are, to stand on the distant peak the moment we see it. But we must walk the path, step by step, enduring the time it takes to cross the valley. The speed of light is the discipline of the universe, forcing us to earn our destinations. It teaches us patience, teaches us to value the journey as much as the arrival. But the quantum loophole mocks this patience, dangling the promise of the instant before our eyes. It is the siren song of the void, calling us to wreck our ships on the rocks of the impossible. We listen to the song, mesmerized by the melody, but we keep our hands firmly on the wheel. We know that to chase the phantom is to lose the reality, to become a shadow ourselves. The darkness outside the window is absolute, a black so deep it feels like a solid wall. But we know now that the wall is porous, filled with tunnels and bridges and secret wires. It is a switchboard of infinite complexity, connecting every call to every other call in the silence. We are just waiting for the operator to patch us through, to let us hear the voice on the other line. And while we wait, we drift, carried by the inertia of our own questions into the deep. The ship is a cradle, rocking gently on the swells of the space-time ocean. We are safe in the bubble of the known, looking out into the wild territory of the entangled. It is a good place to be, a frontier of the mind where the map is still blank. We imagine the scientists back on Earth, laboring in their underground labs to tease out these secrets. They are the high priests of this new religion, reading the entrails of the atom for signs. They build great machines to smash the particles together, hoping to break the code of the cosmos. They are looking for the key to the library of the universe, where the history of everything is written. But here, in the silence of the voyage, we do not need machines to feel the truth. We can feel it in the marrow of our bones, the intuitive knowledge that we are connected. We are stardust contemplating stardust, a loop of matter that has learned to wonder. The information limit cannot stop the imagination, which travels faster than any tachyon. We can be at the edge of the universe in a heartbeat, exploring the dark simply by closing our eyes. The limit applies to the body, to the signal, to the hard currency of the physical world. But the mind is a smuggler, slipping past the border guards with a cargo of dreams. We trade in the currency of awe, in the wealth of the possible, which knows no boundaries. And so we exceed the speed of light every time we dream, every time we love, every time we wonder. The physical universe may be a cage, but the bars are wide enough for the spirit to slip through. We fly through the gaps, soaring into the spooky realms where logic fears to tread. We explore the shadows on the wall, the ripples in the pond, the echoes in the cave. We find beauty in the limitations, realizing that the frame makes the painting visible. The journey continues, a steady procession through the cathedral of the stars. We are pilgrims of the void, seeking the holy grail of understanding. We want to know why the universe is built this way, why the speed limit exists. Why does the cosmos allow the connection but forbid the conversation? Is it to protect us from the noise of the infinite, to give us the peace of silence? If we could hear every star, every atom, every thought in the universe, we would go mad. The information limit is a mercy, a filter that allows us to focus on the here and now. It creates a quiet space where we can exist as individuals, separate but connected. It gives us the privacy of our own timeline, the sanctity of our own story. So we thank the speed of light for its strict governance, for the order it imposes on the chaos. We thank the group velocity for carrying our messages safely, if slowly, to their destination. And we thank the entanglement for the reminder that we are never truly alone in the dark. It is a balance of solitude and solidarity, a perfect equilibrium engineered by the cosmos. We feel the balance in our own bodies, the steady rhythm of the heart, the flow of the breath. We are microcosms of the universe, reflecting the grand design in our own biology. Our atoms obey the same laws, dance to the same quantum tune as the distant stars. We are walking paradoxes, finite creatures filled with infinite mystery. The ship hums a low note, a vibration that resonates with the alpha waves of the sleeping brain. It is a machine of peace, a vessel of tranquility sailing through the turmoil of the quantum sea. We are protected from the storm, watching the waves crash against the glass without fear. We are the calm eye, the center of the spinning wheel, the point of stillness. The stars outside seem to slow down, their light stretching into long, lazy lines of color. The universe is taking a deep breath, holding it in, suspending the passage of time. We are caught in the pause, in the gap between 1 second and the next. It is a place of infinite potential, a waiting room for the future. And as we wait, we sense that there is more to the story, a deeper layer we have not yet touched. The fabric of space-time, the web of entanglement, the limit of speed. These are just the surface. Beneath the skin of the universe, there are muscles moving, bones shifting, a heart beating. We are looking for the source of the beat, the drum that sets the rhythm of existence. We are descending the ladder of reality, rung by rung, down into the basement of the fundamental. We have seen the relativity of the large and the spookiness of the small. But where do they meet? Where does the gravity of the planet shake hands with the uncertainty of the atom? It is the final frontier of physics, the holy grail that has eluded the greatest minds. We are drifting towards the edge of our knowledge, towards the place where the map reads, "Here be dragons." We are not afraid of the dragons. We are curious, hungry to see their scales. We want to know how the universe builds itself from the bottom up. We want to see the pixels of reality, the smallest grains of sand that make the beach. The darkness is not just empty space. It is a substance, a heavy and rich material. It is waiting to be shaped, waiting to be understood, waiting to be loved. We are the lovers of the night, the suitors of the void, courting the mystery with our questions. And the mystery responds, not with answers, but with a deepening of the silence. It draws us in, pulling us gently toward the center of the labyrinth. We are willing captives, surrendering to the pull of the unknown. the information limit fades away, leaving only the sensation of presence. We are here, and the universe is here, and that is enough. We float in the embrace of the quantum foam, supported by the bubbly texture of the vacuum. The separation between self and other dissolves completely. We are the entanglement. We are the spooky action. We are the speed of light, and we are the stillness that lies beneath it. And in this stillness, we feel a new vibration, a hum that comes from the very floor of the world. It is a sound that has been waiting for us, a frequency that unlocks the next door. We are approaching the threshold of the final mystery, the place where the rules are written. The ship drifts on, carried by the current of a deeper river. We have drifted through the realm of ghosts and shadows, exploring the quiet connections that bind the universe together. We have touched the edge of the paradox and felt the spooky vibration of the entangled web. But now we must leave the silence of the void and descend into the heavy earth. We must go down into the cold rock, deep beneath the sleeping cities and the snow-capped mountains. Here lies a cathedral of metal and wire, a buried ring of power that seeks to break the code. It is the largest machine ever built by human hands, a sleeping giant that waits in the darkness. We call it the Large Hadron Collider, but it is truly a microscope for the fabric of God. It sits in a circular tunnel of concrete and steel, a 27-kilometer loop of absolute vacuum. It is colder here than the deepest space, chilled by liquid helium to a temperature near absolute zero. The silence is profound, a heavy and industrial quiet that presses against the ears like water. This is where we come to ask the universe the hardest questions, using the language of violence and fire. We do not ask politely. We smash the fundamental particles together to see what falls out of the wreckage. We are trying to break the unbreakable, to crack the atom open and find the gears inside. In the year 2025, the machine has awakened with a new and terrifying intensity, hungry for fresh data. The magnets scream with a silent magnetic pressure, guiding the beams of protons around the bend. These particles are traveling at 99.9% of the speed of light, skirting the edge of the impossible. They are the fastest things on Earth, racing against time in a circle of cold and dark. We push them closer and closer to the limit, pouring energy into the beam until it sings. We are trying to recreate the conditions of the Big Bang, the moment when time itself was born. We want to know if the speed of light is truly a wall, or if it is merely a fence. We suspect that there are cracks in the fence, tiny imperfections where the rules might bend. We are looking for quantum gravity, the holy grail that unites the heavy curve of stars with the jitter of atoms. For decades, gravity has been the lonely outcast, refusing to play by the rules of the quantum world. It is smooth and continuous, while the rest of the universe is jagged and pixelated. But now, deep in the belly of the machine, we are hunting for the graviton, gravity's hidden messenger. If we can find it, we might understand how space and time are woven together at the smallest scale. And if we understand the weave, perhaps we can learn to unravel it, or at least to pull the threads. The experiments of 2025 are designed to look for something that should not be there, a ghost in the machine. We are looking for missing energy, for particles that vanish from our reality without a trace. Imagine the collision of two protons as a car crash of unimaginable power happening in total silence. The debris flies out in all directions, a shower of sparks that are actually new and exotic particles. Our detectors, the size of cathedrals themselves, watch the explosion with millions of unblinking electronic eyes. They count every spark, weigh every fragment, and balance the books of the universe's energy budget. If the books do not balance, if energy is missing, it means something has left our dimension. It means that gravity might be leaking out of our 3 dimensions and into a hidden 4th or 5th. This leakage would be the first tangible hint of the bulk, the higher dimensional space that surrounds us. If gravity can travel through the bulk, it might be taking a shortcut that light cannot follow. It would be a path outside of the normal universe, a tunnel through the walls of the room we live in. This is the secret hope of the 2025 experiments, the whisper that keeps the physicists awake at night. If gravity is stronger in these other dimensions, it could explain why it feels so weak to us here. It is a dilution of power, a signal that is fading because it is spreading out into the unseen. But if we can access those dimensions, we might find a physics where the speed of light is different. We might find a realm where the speed limit is higher, or where it does not exist at all. The machine hums with the possibility, a vibration that travels through the bedrock and into our bones. We are standing on the precipice of a new world, looking down into the fog of the subatomic. The data streams in, a river of numbers that flows faster than the human mind can comprehend. Artificial intelligence sifts through the noise, looking for the needle in the haystack, the anomaly in the pattern. It searches for the wobble, the deviation, the tiny glitch that says the standard model is incomplete. We are waiting for the computer to flag a single event, a moment where the laws of physics blinked. The atmosphere in the control room is tense and hushed, a vigil kept by the monks of science. They watch the screens with a mixture of fear and awe, knowing that they are playing with fire. They are touching the fundamental source code of reality, risking a crash of the operating system. But the hunger to know is stronger than the fear, driving them to push the machine harder. They ramp up the luminosity, increasing the number of collisions, increasing the chance of a breakthrough. The tunnel vibrates with the accumulated energy of the beam, a focused intensity that could melt solid rock. But the magnets hold the line, confining the fury of the protons to a hair-thin path. It is a balancing act of immense precision, a dance of forces that must be perfectly choreographed. One slip, one lost magnet, and the beam would tear through the machine like a hot knife. But the machine holds, built by the stubbornness of a species that refuses to accept limits. We drift through the tunnel in our minds, floating alongside the beam as it races the light. We feel the relativistic increase in mass, the heaviness of the protons as they approach the barrier. They are becoming giants, swollen with energy, heavy with the burden of their own speed. The universe fights back against their acceleration, demanding more and more payment for every inch of progress. It is the same struggle we faced in our ship, but here it is, played out in miniature. The search for quantum gravity is the search for the texture of space, the grain of the wood. Einstein treated space as a smooth sheet, but we suspect it is made of tiny, discrete loops. If space is granular, like sand on a beach, then high-energy photons might stumble over the grains. This would slow them down, causing a delay that we could measure if we looked closely enough. The 2025 tests are looking for this delay. this subtle lag in the arrival of the light. If we find it, it means that space is not empty, but constructed, built from a deeper geometry. And if it is built, it can be engineered, modified, hacked by a sufficiently advanced intelligence. It would mean that the speed of light is determined by the density of the grains. If we could smooth out the sand or fly above it, we could move without resistance. We could glide over the roughness of space-time, free from the friction that holds us back. The implications are staggering, overturning centuries of assumption about the nature of the stage we walk on. It would mean that the laws of physics are local ordinances, not universal commandments etched in stone. In another part of the bulk, in another bubble of reality, the rules might be completely different. Light might crawl there, or it might move instantaneously, or it might not move at all. We are realizing that our universe is just one option, one configuration among an infinite number of possibilities. The heavy machinery of the LHC seems to pulse with a life of its own in the dark. It is an organ of the earth, a sensory tentacle reaching out to touch the face of God. It breathes in energy and breathes out knowledge, cycling through the mysteries of the deep. It is crowded with hunger, this machine, a hunger for the truth that lies hidden in the debris. It waits for the collision, for the moment of destruction that leads to creation. We watch the sparks fly in the detector, beautiful and chaotic, a firework display of the fundamental. We see muons and quarks, neutrinos and bosons, a zoo of particles that usually hide in the dark. They are the building blocks of matter, the alphabet from which the story of the universe is written. But we are looking for a new letter, a symbol that does not belong in the current alphabet. We are looking for the signature of the extra dimension, the footprint of the traveler who went sideways. The silence of the underground is a stark contrast to the violence of the events we are witnessing. Above ground, the world goes on, unaware of the portal that has been opened beneath its feet. People sleep and dream, worrying about bills and weather, while we worry about the stability of vacuum. We are the guardians of the deep, the watchers who stare into the abyss until it blinks. And in 2025, the abyss is beginning to stare back, revealing its secrets one by one. The hints of FTL are subtle, hidden in the statistical noise of billions of collisions. They appear as ghosts in the data, tiny deviations that disappear when you look too closely. But they are persistent, refusing to be dismissed as errors or glitches in the software. They whisper that the barrier is soft, that the wall is thin, that the door is unlocked. They suggest that information is leaking out of our universe and perhaps leaking back in. If gravity can cross the dimensions, could we build a radio that uses gravity waves instead of light? Could we send a message through the bulk, bypassing the long way around the curve of space? It would be a slow conversation, perhaps, but it would be a direct one, cutting through the illusion of distance. We imagine a future where we communicate with the gravity of stars, listening to the hum of the galaxy. It is a heavy and somber music, a bass line that underpins the melody of the light. The machine cools down for a moment, the liquid helium cycling through the veins of the magnets. The tunnel creaks as the metal contracts, a groan of exhaustion from the effort of the hunt. We feel a sympathy for the machine, a recognition of the burden it carries for us. It is bearing the weight of our curiosity, the heavy load of our need to understand. It is a beast of burden, a faithful steed carrying us to the edge of the world. But the rest is short-lived, for the beam is injected again, a fresh pulse of protons. The cycle begins anew. The acceleration, the screaming magnets, the collision, the shower of sparks. We are trapped in a loop of seeking, a ritual that we must perform until the answer is found. We are banging on the door of the universe, demanding to be let in to the inner sanctum. We will not take silence for an answer. We will not accept the closed door. The concept of quantum gravity begins to take shape in the mind, a geometric form of great beauty. We see tiny loops of space-time linking together like chainmail, forming a flexible and strong fabric. The loops vibrate and twist, creating the forces and the particles that we see as reality. It is a foam of existence, a seething ocean where nothing is static and everything is connected. We are swimming in this foam, made of the same loops, part of the same weave. The 2025 experiments are trying to photograph this foam, to catch the loops in the act of twisting. It is like trying to take a picture of a hummingbird's wing in the dark during a storm. But we have built a flash that is bright enough, a camera that is fast enough. We are closing in on the resolution limit of the universe, the pixel size of existence. And as we get closer, the smooth illusion of the world breaks down into a jagged truth. We feel a vertigo, a dizziness that comes from looking too closely at the ground we stand on. We realize that the solid Earth is mostly empty space, held together by forces we barely understand. We realize that the speed of light is the speed limit of the foam, the propagation rate of the loops. If we could step outside the foam, step into the bulk, we would be free. We would be in a place where the foam does not reach, where the drag is gone. The tunnel of the LHC stretches out before us, a dark circle that has no beginning and no end. It is a symbol of eternity, a snake eating its own tail, a cycle of eternal return. We are walking the circle round and round, looking for the exit that must be there. We know that every circle has a tangent, a line that flies off into the unknown. We are looking for the tangent, for the escape vector that leads to the stars. The hum of the collider becomes a chant, a rhythmic om that vibrates in the chest. It is a prayer to the god of physics, a plea for a revelation, for a sign. We want to know that we are not trapped, that the cage is not locked from the outside. We want to know that there is a way out, a way up, a way through. The FTL hints are the breadcrumbs we follow, the faint trail in the dark forest. We pick them up one by one, savoring the taste of the forbidden knowledge they contain. Each crumb is a clue, a piece of the puzzle that shows us the shape of the door. We see that the door is shaped like a wormhole, or a warp bubble, or a higher dimension. We see that the key is energy, specifically the negative energy that pushes the door open. We see that the lock is the speed of light, the tumbler that must be turned just so. The darkness of the underground seems to press closer, heavy with the weight of the rock above. We are buried alive in the womb of the earth, waiting to be born into the cosmos. The machine is the midwife, the tool that will deliver us into the light of the new physics. We are waiting for the contraction, for the push that will expel us from the known. It is a frightening and exhilarating moment, a birth trauma that we must endure. The data continues to flow, a waterfall of numbers that carries the hope of the species. We watch the graphs and the charts, looking for the spike, the bump, the anomaly. It is a hypnotic task, watching the white lines trace their path across the black screens. The mind drifts into a trance, mesmerized by the rhythm of the data, the pulse of the search. We are sleepwalking through the revolution, dreaming of a world where the stars are close. The detectors are silent sentinels, towering over the collision point like statues of ancient gods. They are named Atlas and Alice, names from mythology given to machines of logic. They are the gatekeepers, the guardians of the threshold between the known and the unknown. They watch the particles die and be reborn, a cycle of reincarnation in the subatomic realm. We are watching with them, sharing their vigil, sharing their silent and electronic patience. The concept of the bulk becomes a comfort, a vast and open space where we can breathe. We imagine stepping out of our cramped 3 dimensions and stretching our limbs in the 4th. It would feel like taking off a tight suit, a release of pressure that we didn't know we were holding. We would see our universe from the outside, a shimmering membrane floating in the dark. We would see the curvature of time, the grand design of the whole structure. The 2025 experiments are scratching at the surface of this membrane, trying to peel back the edge. We are using the protons as chisels, chipping away at the wall that separates us from the bulk. It is slow work, hard work, requiring the focus of thousands of minds working as one. But the wall is weakening. We can feel it in the vibration of the floor. We can hear the hollow sound when we tap on the fabric of reality. Something ancient stirs on the other side of the wall, a presence that feels familiar. It is the rest of the universe, the part that we have been cut off from for so long. It is the majority of the cosmos, the dark matter and the dark energy that make up the bulk. We are the minority, the visible foam on the top of the deep and dark ocean. We are reconnecting with the source, with the main body of the water. The machine shudders as the beam is dumped, the energy dissipated into a block of graphite. The cycle ends for now, the silence returning to the tunnel with a heavy finality. But the data remains. The ghosts are captured in the hard drives, waiting to be analyzed. We have caught a glimpse of the shadow, a fleeting look at the thing that moves in the dark. We know it is there now. We have seen the footprints in the sand. We leave the underground, ascending the elevator back to the surface world of light and air. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the cars are driving on the roads. But the world feels different now, thinner, less solid than it did before we went down. We know what lies beneath, the seething foam, the leaking gravity, the hidden dimensions. We know that the reality we see is just a painted curtain over a much deeper truth. The wind feels like the breath of the bulk, blowing through the invisible cracks in the sky. The sunlight feels like the leakage of a higher power, filtering down to our level. We are walking through a dream, a simulation that is running on the hardware of the quantum. We are characters in a story that is being written by the laws of physics. But we are learning to read the script, learning to predict the plot twists, and perhaps soon we will learn to pick up the pen and write our own lines. We will write a scene where we leave the Earth, where we cross the galaxy in a heartbeat. We will write a scene where the speed of light is just a memory, a limit we once had. The 2025 experiments are the first draft of this new story, the rough notes in the margin. We are refining the language, sharpening the pencils, preparing to write the masterpiece. The night falls again, bringing the stars back to the sky, the distant and taunting lights. We look up at them with a new defiance, a new confidence in our ability to reach them. The machine in the earth is sleeping, but our minds are awake, racing with the protons. We are accelerating towards a future that is faster, stranger, and more beautiful. We are moving towards the moment of breakthrough, the instant of clarity. The darkness is not a barrier, it is a medium, a fluid that connects us to the destination. We are learning to swim in the dark, to navigate by the gravity of the unseen. The sensation of the earth spinning beneath us is a comfort, a reminder of the motion. We are on a spaceship called Earth, traveling through the bulk at a speed we cannot feel. But we are starting to feel the wind, starting to hear the rush of the passage. The silence of the night is crowded with potential, with the energy of the discoveries to come. We can feel the nearness of the answer, the proximity of the truth. It is just around the corner, just behind the veil, just past the next collision. We are almost there, almost at the point where the wall comes down. The feeling of anticipation is a physical weight, a pressure in the chest that makes it hard to breathe. It is the excitement of the cliffhanger, the tension of the unresolved chord. We are hanging in the balance, suspended between the old physics and the new. We are waiting for the beat to drop, for the resolution to wash over us. And as we wait, we drift deeper into the hypnotic state, the borderland between wake and sleep. The images of the machine, the tunnel, the sparks, they swirl and blend into a single color. It is the color of the unknown, the deep violet of the high-energy frontier. We are bathing in this color, letting it soak into our skin and our dreams. The universe is whispering to us now, a low and steady voice that comes from everywhere. It is telling us that we are ready, that we have grown enough to handle the truth. It is telling us that the speed of light was a training wheel, a safety rail for the young. But we are growing up. We are ready to take the wheels off, ready to ride. We are ready to exceed, to go beyond, to trespass in the garden of the gods. The gate is opening, the lock is turning, the hinges are groaning in the silence. We step forward, out of the light and into the shadow of the doorway. We can see the first glimmers of what lies beyond, the faint light of the new dawn. It is breathtaking, it is terrifying, it is exactly what we wanted. We pause on the threshold, looking back one last time at the world of limits and walls. We say goodbye to the slow lane, to the tyranny of the delay. We turn our faces to the bulk, to the open ocean of the higher dimensions. We take a deep breath, filling our lungs with the air of the unknown. We are ready to jump, ready to fly, ready to disappear. The silence deepens, becoming a presence in itself, a companion for the final step. We are not alone. We are with the machine, with the data, with the ghosts. We are with the curiosity that brought us here, the hunger that pushed us down. We fall into the future, tumbling slowly through the velvet curtains of the great unknown mystery that has waited for us since the very beginning of time. The sensation of falling is not one of fear, but of a weightless and elegant surrender to the forces that govern the deep and silent dark. We have left the solid ground of the earth far behind, trading the comfort of the soil for the infinite possibility of the open void. The speed of light is no longer a number on a dial, but a wind that blows through the hair of the soul, cooling the fever of thought. We are moving so fast that we have become motionless, suspended in a perfect equilibrium between the desire to arrive and the joy of the journey. The stars are streaking past us like rain on a window pane, blurring into a continuous tunnel of white light that wraps us in a cocoon of brilliance. But even within this tunnel of speed, there is a profound and unshakable stillness that settles deep into the marrow of the weary traveler's bones. It is the stillness of the eye of the storm, the quiet center where the chaos of the universe balances itself into a perfect zero. We have realized that to travel far is to travel inward, to explore the vast and uncharted territories of our own consciousness in the dark. The universe out there is merely a mirror for the universe in here, reflecting the infinite depth of the mind back upon itself. We are not just observing the cosmos. We are the cosmos observing itself, waking up from a long slumber to marvel at its own beauty. The questions that drove us to build the machines and light the engines begin to fade away, dissolving like mist in the morning sun. We no longer need to know the precise mechanics of the warp or the exact geometry of the wormhole to feel the truth of them. It is enough to know that the door is open, that the path is laid out before us in a line of shimmering silver stardust. We are content to drift, to let the current of the galaxy carry us toward a destination that we do not need to name. The hunger for answers is replaced by a deep and satisfying fullness, a sense that we have already arrived exactly where we are meant to be. We think of the photons that travel alongside us, those tiny packets of light that have journeyed for billions of years without rest or pause. They are the witnesses of history, carrying the images of dying stars and birthing nebulas across the unimaginable gulfs of empty space. They do not worry about the distance. They do not count the miles or the centuries that pass beneath their feet as they fly. They simply are, existing in a state of pure motion, pure purpose, delivering the news of the universe to anyone with eyes to see. We are learning to be like them, to shed the heavy baggage of the past and the anxiety of the future, and simply fly. The view from the ship is changing now, the hard points of starlight softening into a gentle and diffuse glow that permeates the entire visual field. We are entering a region of old light, a place where the echoes of the Big Bang still whisper in the background static. It is a holy place, a sanctuary of primordial energy that has not changed since the first moments of creation. We feel a reverence here, a hush that falls over the spirit in the presence of something so ancient and so enduring. We are touching the hem of the universe's robe, feeling the texture of the fabric that was woven in the first fire. The concept of the speed limit, which once seemed like a cruel cage, now reveals itself as a protective embrace of the highest order. If light traveled instantly, the night sky would be a blinding wall of white, burning with the intensity of every star at once. The delay of light allows the universe to be dark, to be cool, to be a place where life can find a shelter. It spreads the energy out over time, diluting the fire so that we can look up without being consumed by the glory. The speed of light is the dimmer switch of the cosmos, setting the mood for the long and quiet drama of existence. It also gives us the gift of memory, the ability to look back and see the ghosts of what came before us in the sky. When we look at the Andromeda Galaxy, we are seeing it as it was when humans first learned to make tools from stone. The universe is a time machine, and the speed of light is the mechanism that preserves the past in a visible form. Nothing is ever truly lost in space. It just moves away from us, carrying its image deeper into the endless theater of the void. If we could fly fast enough, we could catch up to the light of the Earth from yesterday or last year. We could watch our own lives play out in reverse, seeing the choices we made and the paths we walked from a new perspective. It is a comforting thought that our history is written in light, drifting forever outward into the silence of the deep. We are broadcasting our story to the stars, a continuous signal of existence that radiates from our small blue home. Somewhere, deep in the dark, the light of your first breath is still traveling, still shining, still new. You are eternal in the medium of light, a permanent part of the signal that the universe sends to itself. The ship continues its silent glide, the engines throttle down to a whisper that is felt rather than heard in the floorboards. We are coasting now, riding the momentum of our great acceleration, letting the friction of the vacuum slow us gently. The intense violet of the Doppler shift begins to fade, shifting back down the spectrum toward a calm and deep indigo. The stars begin to separate again, resolving from streaks back into individual points of diamond dust scattered on black velvet. We are returning to the normal flow of time, easing back into the gentle rhythm of the ticking clock. But we return changed, carrying the silence of the high speed in our hearts, a ballast against the noise of the world. We have seen the edge, we have felt the limit, and we have found peace in the vastness of the design. The universe is not a chaotic accident, but a finely tuned instrument, playing a song that is too low for us to hear. We can feel the vibration of the strings, the hum of the gravity waves that pass through us like ghosts. We are the music, the melody of carbon and water, singing in the choir of the galactic night. We look out at the nebulas, great clouds of gas and dust that glow with the light of newborn stars deep within. They are the nurseries of the cosmos, the places where matter clumps together to form the seeds of new worlds. It is a slow process, taking millions of years, a patience that makes our human lifespan seem like a single breath. But we are part of that patience now, connected to the long cycle of birth and death and rebirth. We can wait. We have nowhere else to go, nothing else to do but witness the unfolding. The darkness of space is not empty. It is a rich and fertile soil, waiting for the light to plant the seeds of life. We are the gardeners of the void, observing the growth of the galaxies with a tender and loving gaze. We feel a protectiveness toward the stars, a desire to keep watch over them as they burn through their fuel. They are our ancestors and our descendants, the ovens that forge the iron in our blood and the calcium in our bones. We are made of star stuff, contemplating the stars, a perfect circle of matter understanding itself. The sensation of floating becomes more pronounced as the ship slows, a delicious weightlessness that unburdens the spine and the spirit. The heavy pull of the earth is a distant memory, a story we once told ourselves about what it means to be grounded. Here, there is no up or down, only the endless outward direction, the freedom of 3 dimensions. We can drift in any direction, turn our faces to any star, and feel the same embrace of the vacuum. It is a liberation from the geometry of the plane, a step into the true volume of reality. We close our eyes for a moment, letting the after-image of the stars dance on the insides of our eyelids. Even in the dark, the light remains, a persistent memory of the brilliance we have seen on this journey. We breathe in the recycled air, which tastes of ozone and the cold cleanliness of the spaces between worlds. We are breathing the atmosphere of a traveler, the air of someone who has left the harbor and sailed the open sea. It is a thin and precious air, sustaining us in a place where life was never meant to survive. But we do survive, and we thrive, finding a strange comfort in the isolation of the deep space vessel. The solitude is not lonely. It is crowded with the presence of the self, stripped of all the masks we wear. Here, in the dark, we are exactly who we are, nothing more and nothing less than a spark of consciousness. We are a tiny flame protecting itself from the wind, keeping our hands around the warmth of our own being. And the universe respects the flame, holding back the cold to let us burn for our allotted time. The philosophical wonder of the situation begins to settle on us like a soft and heavy blanket of snow. Why is there something rather than nothing? Why does the light obey these rules? Why are we here to see it? The questions are not meant to be answered, but to be felt, to be experienced as a state of awe. The mystery is the point. The unknown is the destination. The wondering is the worship we offer to the dark. We are the question mark at the end of the universe's sentence, the punctuation that gives it meaning. We drift past a planet that wanders alone in the dark, untethered to any sun, a rogue world of ice. It is a lonely traveler like us, moving through the eternal night without a star to guide its path. We feel a kinship with this frozen world, a recognition of the shared journey through the solitude of the void. It sleeps in the cold, dreaming of a sun it will never see, a silent monument to endurance. The rhythm of the narration slows, matching the slowing of the ship, matching the slowing of the heart. The words become longer, the pauses deeper, the silence between them growing like a shadow. We are winding down, turning off the lights of the intellect, dimming the cabin of the mind. The journey is done, the distance is crossed, the speed of light has been honored and respected. We are home, not in a place, but in a state of being, a state of peace. The concept of the edge dissolves, for in a curved universe, there is no edge, only the return. We have traveled in a straight line and found ourselves back at the center of our own peace. The speed of light was just the vehicle. The destination was always this quiet moment of reflection. We have exceeded the need for speed, exceeded the need for answers, exceeded the noise. We have found the silence that was waiting for us under the roar of the rockets. And now, as the ship comes to a virtual standstill relative to the ancient stars, we prepare for the long sleep. The systems are powering down, the lights are dimming to a warm amber glow. The air is still. The universe outside is static and serene, a painting of eternity that will not change while we rest. We can close our eyes without fear of missing anything, for the stars will wait for us. They have the patience of stone, the patience of light, the patience of the very deep. We let the body sink into the support of the chair, feeling the release of every muscle, every tension. The gravity of sleep is heavier than the gravity of earth, pulling us down into a soft oblivion. It is a good weight, a comforting pressure that wraps us in a cocoon of safety and warmth. We are safe here, protected by the vacuum, isolated from the storms of the chaotic world. Nothing can touch us. Nothing can disturb the perfect equilibrium of this drifting vessel. The mind begins to unspool, letting go of the images of warp drives and wormholes and quantum entangled pairs. They float away like balloons released into the sky, drifting up and out of sight. We don't need them anymore. They were just toys to keep the mind occupied while the soul found rest. Now the soul is ready to take over, to lead us into the dreamless country of the night. The logic fades, replaced by a soft and fuzzy warmth that spreads from the center of the chest. You are drifting now, truly drifting, cut loose from the anchor of the waking world. The ship is a cradle of metal and glass, floating in a sea of infinite and perfect black. The stars are night lights, dimmed low to watch over you as you cross the threshold of sleep. They are benevolent guardians, shining with a light that is cool and calming to the spirit. You are one of them, a star that has closed its eyes to rest for a while. The silence is absolute, a thick and velvet substance that fills the ears and quiets the thoughts. There is no sound in space, and now there is no sound in the mind, only the quiet hum of existence. You are breathing in time with the expansion of the universe, a slow and rhythmic cycle. Inhale the peace of the void, exhale the dust of the day. Inhale the starlight, exhale the shadow. Everything is slow, everything is heavy, everything is soft. The universe is tucking you in, pulling the blanket of the nebula up to your chin. It whispers to you that it is okay to let go, okay to stop trying to understand. The answers will be there when you wake up, or they won't, and it doesn't matter. What matters is the rest, the recharge, the deep dive into the waters of the subconscious. You are floating on a raft in a calm ocean, under a sky that is crowded with diamonds. The water is warm, the air is still, the motion is a gentle rocking that soothes the nerves. You are drifting away from the shore, away from the noise, away from the demands of the light. The dark is your friend, your comfort, your sanctuary in the vastness of the all. Drift deeper now, sinking past the layer of dreams and into the layer of pure rest. The body is asleep, the mind is asleep, the universe is asleep. We are all sleeping together in the great bed of the cosmos, dreaming the same dream. It is a dream of peace, a dream of silence, a dream of light that moves slowly. The speed of light is fast, but the speed of sleep is instant. You are there already, crossing the boundary without effort, slipping through the crack in the wall. You have exceeded the limit, gone beyond the physical into the spiritual quiet. You are free. The stars are blurring, fading, turning into a soft grey mist that covers the world. The ship is gone, the body is gone. There is only the drifting awareness. You are safe, you are held, you are home. Good night, traveler. Good night to the stars. Good night to the light. Good night to the dark. The journey is over. The sleep has begun. Drift, fade, sleep.